Greetings, YouTube. I can remember back in '92 when Clinton was running for president. And he promised, essentially, that if he were elected, he would do away with the shameful policies, the institutionalized discrimination that the military had towards the gay community. And frankly, I think he did a good job of selling that idea, of getting the vote of the gay community in exchange for the destruction of that policy. Except, of course, once in office, he failed. Now, he's a politician. I shouldn't be shocked that he lies. The old joke says, how can you tell a politician is lying? His lips are moving. But I liked Bill Clinton. I really think Bill Clinton is one of the greatest presidents we've ever had and the best in my lifetime. I'd like to think that in 2016, I'll be saying that about Obama. But I think this was a failure of his administration. And the whole concept that you can tell our service persons that they can be something and yet they can't admit that they are something is shameful. Not to mention, the military code of conduct tells our service persons to be honest, to be truthful. I see those little yellow stickers all over cars that say, support the troops. Except asking someone to live a lie doesn't seem very supportive to me. In fact, I'd go so far to say it's not supportive at all. Now, you can be gay in the everyday life, no problem. And yet, if you go into the military, you can't. I want you to imagine for a second a policy that the military required every single member of all the branches to appear white. They had to look Caucasian. Didn't matter what color they actually were. They'd take anybody in who volunteers. But you had to look white while you're in the military. You had to put makeup all over your body to make sure that your skin was the same color as everybody else's. Of course, people are thinking, anyone watching this video is thinking, that sounds dumb. Because it is dumb. But that's what they're doing with the gay community. They're saying you can be gay. You just can't talk about it. And if you do talk about it, if anybody finds out about it, we are going to kick your buns out of the military. Even though the military is desperate for bodies at the moment. See, the military integrated women. It was rocky, they did it. The military integrated interracial troops. It was rocky, they did it. And the military can now integrate gay people. It'll be rocky, they can do it. Now remember, the president is the commander-in-chief. If he wakes up tomorrow morning and says, you know, as of January 1st, 2010, this policy doesn't exist, it's done. They don't get to debate about it. He's the guy in charge. This is a shameful policy. It's asking our loyal, self-sacrificing troops, the people who are willing to lay their lives down in defense of our nation, it's asking them to live a lie. And all this policy does is perpetuate the institutionalized homophobia of the straight people. Because it doesn't hurt, it isn't having any positive effect on the gay people, I can tell you. It's having a really positive effect on the homophobes, though. It's saying it's okay if you're a homophobe. We're going to just let you slide. But it's not okay to be a homophobe. It's not okay to be a bigot. Whether you're in the civilian world or the military world. This policy needs to go. This policy should have never have been put in place. Everyone in the military knows that there are gay people in the military. Or at least most of them. I actually encountered a guy back in Clinton's first run who was all upset about this gay initiative. The idea that gay people could openly serve. And he was an Army veteran. And I looked at him and I said, you are aware that you trained with gay people, right? You bunked with them. You ate breakfast with them. You showered with them. And this look of horror came over his face as it suddenly dawned on him that I was right. That he had been living and working and sleeping and showering with gay people. I looked at him and I said, and at the time you were in the military, did a guy ever hit on you? And he said, no. I said, do you know why they didn't hit on you? And he's like, no. I said, because you're straight. And they know you're straight. And they're not interested in you because you're straight. I believe I also insulted his parents at this point. But it was his opinion, his view of the gay community, that a gay man has to hit on every male around him. That somehow it's in their genes. That they're not allowed to be selective. They might not, for example, just choose to hit on other gay men. Which would really increase your chance of a date, I guess. But it's this kind of ignorance that perpetuates this horrible, bigoted policy. We need to do away with it. We need to accept Americans for what they are, equal.